What's up, everybody? I appreciate y'all taking time to tune in on the channel. Check out this video. I know a lot of times people be wanting you to make a video actually working on stuff, which is cool. I understand that. But this video is pretty much kind of explaining some concepts and going over some concepts of your switch feed versus your light feed. Because you can feed either the light itself or you can feed the light switch also. So you can send your power to your light, or you can send your power to your switch. So basically want to go over a couple concepts. I think where I left off, one of my last few videos I made, which you can go to my videos and click on the link. One of them was like a three-way circuit, which is this one here. This one down here is a three-way circuit with the feed at the switch. And the other one was a single pole switch, which is this one right here. And this one, I fed the switch on that one as well. Some people prefer to do light feed, where they feed the power to the light and then switch it with a switch loop. That's not my preferred method. And I ain't here to argue with nobody or nothing like that. You know, that's just what some people do. I prefer to do feed at the switch, but I'm also gonna make a video that'll probably be one of the next few videos where I actually wire the light fixture or the lighting circuit, where I run the feed to the light and then do a switch loop at the switch. So I'll probably do that with do a single pole circuit with feed at the switch, and I'm also gonna do a single pole circuit with the feed at the light also. But basically, to go over a few concepts, I've got this dry erase board right here. I'm gonna go kind of go over some symbols first. Let me straighten this out. Start out going over some basic symbols that that we use as electrical workers. These are kind of general symbols. Like if I was to put these on a sheet of paper, if somebody that I know do electrical work, even if they do like marine or commercial or residential, whatever, you know, the type of work, they'll probably be able to recognize these symbols, because this is what we use when we basically interpret drawings. And this is what you learn when you go to some type of trade school or something like that. So the first one I'm gonna go over is a light fixture. That'll be a general, that's just a basic symbol for a light fixture. Sometimes they might do it like this, and then they might put an E in it if you're doing marine work, and that'll be symbolized like emergency lighting. But this is a general symbol. Let me do that over again because I kind of messed it up. This is a general symbol for, let's say, a light fixture. All right, so the next one, it'll be, let's say, a switch. I'm gonna just make it like a dollar sign, and that symbolizes a single pole light switch. So this right here will be my light. This is my symbol for my light. Let me try to adjust this where it's a little bit easier to see it. All right, yeah, so this will be my symbol for my light fixture, and this will be the symbol for my single pole switch. And the next one I'm gonna do is just some lines like this. Let's say this is going to this light fixture here. This arrow will symbolize this is a home run. So this right here, this wire is coming from the panel. So this will be the feed or your power. So this would be the symbol if I was to say I wanted to feed my light fixture instead of my light switch. I use this symbol here. This would be my feeder going to it. And the next one would just be another cable. And these dashes that I'm putting on these lines right here would symbolize, hey, this is a two conductor. And this is more general, but this is basically something like your residential symbols that you would see like on a residential drawing. But all right, so this little line here, this is another cable here. This would be like a 12-2. I said 12-2 because 2 dashes, 2 conductors. So I got a 12-2 here, and I got a 12-2 coming in here. So this will be, all right, I'm feeding my light fixture instead of my light switch. So what if I changed it around? Change it. So if I changed it around, put my lights fixture here, and my switch here, I will feed my switch with my home run here, then run another cable here, another 12-2, a 12-2 to my switch, and a 12-2. Let's say these 12-2, number 12. 12 gauge 2 conductor, and which is, you know, general for lighting, like 20 amps. Sometimes they use 15 amps, which would be a number 14 wire or whatever. But we got a 2 conductor running here. This the home run from the panel to the light switch, and from the light switch to the light fixture. That's my preferred way to do it. That's how I like to hook my lights up. But some people prefer to run, or for whatever reason, run to the light fixture, which is, I mean, you could do it either way. But like I say, this is just my preference. But I'm gonna kind of go over a couple reasons why I don't prefer the light feed instead of the switch feed for my light circuits. So let's say in a regular, in your average, I'm gonna use a bedroom for example. Your average bedroom, all you're probably gonna have in a house is a light fixture, and I also forgot to go over another symbol, and that would be your receptacle. And generally use those. That's your symbol for your receptacle. But in your average bedroom, you basically gonna have a light. You're gonna have a couple receptacles on the wall, and for the most part, that's probably it. Yeah, let's see. Probably should put that one closer to the center. And you have to look at the code book to, like, so if you're working on houses or doing residential work, look at the code book to see what the distance is. I think it's like 6 feet in between a wall space without a break or something like that. You have to have a receptacle. But anyway, we ain't gonna go through all of that right now. I'm gonna just go over these basic concepts of why I prefer to switch feed instead of light feed. So let's say somebody come in, they rewiring this room or whatever, and they say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna run my power to my light instead of my switches. What some people do, that's just their preferred method of doing it. All right, so I ran my power here. Remember this symbol here with the arrow, the home run? So I'm gonna run my power here, and I'm gonna come off of my power from my light, and I'm gonna hit the receptacles, because I've seen this. You go, they're gonna go over here to this receptacle, then go to this one receptacle, then go to this receptacle, then go to this receptacle, then go around to this receptacle, and that's the end of the line there. So they ran the power in, to the light home, from the panel home run to the light, and they branched off from the light to the receptacles, and they also need a light switch. So I'm gonna put a light switch here, and this is my other wire for my light going to my light switch. Now, just looking at this in general, you can see that there's a lot of wires inside this one box right here, because you got a wire going from the light fixture to the switch, so you can turn the switch on and turn the light on and off. And then you got another wire going from the light to feed your receptacles in the room. That's assuming that they just use one circuit for the whole room, which I like to do it like that if I'm doing one room. But some people say it's better to separate your receptacles from your lights, or some people prefer to, depending on the situation, just to, like, say if you're having some issues with the light or whatever, and then in order for you to have somewhere to plug up, like say you can bring in a shop light or something like that, and you have to do a repair or something, and the light fixture is not working, but the receptacles are still working, if they tied together, then you can use the receptacle to plug in, like, whatever light, shop light or whatever. But most of the time now we have battery operated. I use a headlamp when I'm doing troubleshooting and stuff like that too, just to have, so I don't really have to have like no plug in like anything. But once again, I prefer, like I say, if I'm doing a room, I run that one feed to the room, depending on how many outlets it is too, because you can't have too many outlets or devices on one 20 amp circuit. But it's more simple, like if you break it down into a room, like I feed this one room with one breaker, another room with that breaker, and so on and so forth. But let's say, just looking at this now, you can see that it's let me get back on topic. It's a lot of wires going to this one box where this light fixture is going when you feed the light fixture instead of feeding the switch. So with a lot of these wires going on in here, let's say, that's another symbol that I should have went over too, but I didn't. But I'm gonna go over it right now. Let's say we put a ceiling fan. No, that's kind of rough drawing. Let's say we put a ceiling fan in this room. We got a ceiling fan in this room, and we still got a light feed situation going on. So we fed the light fixture, but we want to at some point put a ceiling fan in the room. So I wouldn't put a ceiling fan in the room, but when we hook it up, we have to take the light fixture down, then manage all those wires inside the box. Of course, you have to make sure that the box is rated to support a ceiling fan. You can't just put a regular ceiling or outlet box in the ceiling. When you're using the ceiling fan, you got to get one that's rated to support a certain amount of weight. But all right, so we went through the whole situation where we took down the light fixture and we put in the proper box to support the ceiling fan, but we got a lot of wires inside this box, which, hey, to each his own. At this point, let's say we installed the new ceiling fan, and let's say 2 years go by, and then somebody come in the room to flip the light switch. The ceiling fan's not coming on, it's not working. So in order to troubleshoot this circuit, of course you can troubleshoot it from here, but when you come in, like most of the time, you may not know, you can't see inside the wall, so you don't know how it's wired. So you basically gotta, come in and look at the situation and see where you can go from there. Say, I would probably start at the switch and see, and like if my power is going there, or where, you have to figure out where the power is going, essentially. And that's on, once you get to like troubleshooting and stuff like that. One method that I like to do is to troubleshoot from the source to the load or whatever, but that's on, we'll get to that a little bit later on. All right, so I came in, I changed out this regular light fixture. The light fixture was fed with the power, and I'm basically 2 years down the line, I'm having issues with everything stopped working. Like all my receptacles went out, and my light switch is not working either. Let's say all the receptacles went out. Even if the receptacles went out and let's say the light worked or something like that, that still could happen too. That could be a scenario too. But for just general purpose, we don't say everything in this room stopped working, because sometimes you'll run into that situation. So I come in, all right, I got this light switch here, probably open up my switch. And then once I open up my switch, I see it's probably just a 2 conductor going to the black and the white. So I know at that point, once I open up this switch cover and I see it's only 2 wires going to that switch, then I know, okay, they must have ran the feed to the light fixture. So they ran the feed to the light fixture, they did a light feed. So I look up there and there's a ceiling fan. So in order for me to troubleshoot this circuit here, I'm probably more than likely gonna have to take down this ceiling fan to look inside and look at the wires inside of this ceiling fan to figure out what went wrong here. So that's one of my main issues with doing light feed instead of feeding the switch. because I mean anything could go wrong really, but from here to here, from here to here, or anything could go wrong. But just in this situation specifically, having to troubleshoot and then having to go in and then, like say for example, take down a ceiling fan. It could be a chandelier. It could be quite a few things. But I would hate to have to come in and take down a whole ceiling fan just because they decided to run, the power to the light instead of to the switch. So like I said, I mean, either way works, but that's just one reason, or the main reason why I don't like doing light feed. I prefer not to do light feed. Now, I've had to work on it, obviously, a bunch of times because, some people prefer to do it this method. But that's one of the main reasons why I don't like the light feed itself. But I'm gonna change the scenario up a little bit. Try not to lose my dry erase board. So let's change the scenario up a little bit. Let's say we got this ceiling fan here. I'm just gonna put a couple receptacles because once you got the concept at this point, so it's not, I don't have to put a whole bunch of receptacles just to, and also, let's see, put your switch over there. All right, so the way I'm gonna do this here is I'm gonna feed my switch instead of feeding my light this time. So I got my home right here. Go for my receptacle here. Receptacle. And that's the end of the line for my receptacle. And I also need to put two conductors. Two conductor all the way around, tap off my switch, and then I'm gonna also have one. I'm just gonna put a single pole switch, and I'm just gonna put a two conductor from the switch to the ceiling fan on this one. Now you could do a three conductor, and some ceiling fans come with where you can hook up the light separately from the fan itself. And like generally that'd be like a black wire and a blue wire, one of them for the light and one of them is for the fan. But I'm just gonna do it simple. Let's say they got a ceiling fan with a remote and they just because if they had a single pole switch here before and they just had a regular light fixture, then I mean that's all they need is a two conductor. They more than likely just have a two conductor running to the ceiling for the ceiling fan. So yeah, like I said, keep it basic here, or assuming that we got a remote to control the light separately from the fan on the ceiling fan, single pole switch with feed at the switch. And when I come in, let's say I have to come in and troubleshoot, let's say, hey, the receptacle stopped working, but my lights still come on. So at this point I come in, hey, I can just open up this switch. It's a lot more simple to open up a switch like this one here than it is to take down a whole ceiling fan to do troubleshooting. So I come in, the customer say, hey, my receptacle stopped working. My lights still work. So I come in, I take the switch cover off, I look inside, I say, oh, okay, they fed the switch instead of feeding the light on this one. That's pretty basic, pretty simple. Identify which cable is going to the receptacles and which cable is going to my ceiling fan. Look at my power. It could have been the wire broke that's tying the power to, or the neutral, could have open neutral from the power at the switch going to the receptacles, which is causing the receptacles to not work. And the ceiling fan is still getting power and the ceiling fan is still working. So that's my main thing. Like why I would prefer to feed my switch instead of feed my light. But like I say, to each its own. Everybody has their own way of doing it. And either way works. But I just have the method that I prefer. And like I said, I come back and I plan to come back and make another video where I'm actually doing a video where I'm physically building the circuit, just like I did with those single pole and three-way circuit, where I actually build a circuit where it's a feed at the light instead of the switch, because some situations it's better to feed the light, but in the general situation, like when you doing residential wiring, especially if it's new construction, I mean, I wouldn't do it unless for some reason, like if I was working for somebody, another contractor or something, and they for whatever reason want me to do it as a general contractor, but in which more than likely wouldn't happen. So I wouldn't do it. Like say if I had a contract to build a house, I wouldn't do it that way. But like I say, I mean, you could do it either way. But like it's other situations where it would be, it's more simple or more practical to do your feed at your light. Like for example, I had a commercial situation where I was doing a commercial job, and while I was doing the commercial job, it was kind of getting toward the end of the project and kind of running low on materials, which we could have got more materials. I think we did get more materials, but I would have had to wait to get the materials. Man, instead of waiting to get the materials, I wanted to be like more efficient and continue the job until we get materials. So use the material that I had until more materials came in. So I was in a situation doing a commercial job. I'm gonna just use these symbols. These will be lights right here too. Symbol for a light fixture, like in a commercial building, those long LED or fluorescent type fixture lights that hang in the overhead of a building. So you got a whole stringer of lights here. So I got a whole string of lights here, and I got my switch on this end. So this is where the opening to the building is, the entrance and everything. So I got my switch on this end, and my power panel is up here somewhere on a mezzanine or a platform somewhere. I got a power panel on this end of the building. But I also have junction boxes that's already tied to the power on this end. So I got junction box, or I got a junction box, the one specifically that I'm choosing to use for this circuit is already on this end of the building, and it's close. Let me change that a little bit. And it's closer to the lights than it is to the switch. So, all right, I'm in a commercial building. I'm working on a commercial building, and I gotta hook up a stringer of lights in that commercial building. And I know my power is on this side, my entrance is on this side. So I still have to be able to control my lights from my switch on this end of the building. So instead of me running my power all the way over here from this junction box to my switch and then going from light to light to light, what I did is I ran my power to this here, because I already have, like, let's say it's an existing commercial building, and I have other junction boxes that are closer to these light fixtures. Like say I might have one here and it's conduits up and it's MC cable. I may have one here. So I got these junction boxes that's closer to my light fixture. My light fixture over here, I'm gonna move it a little bit further away, because really it was way on the other end of the building. But all right. So instead of me running my power all the way from here to here to my switch and then going from my switch to my lights, what I decided to do, because I didn't have a whole lot of MC cable left, and I had a little bit of EMT, but I didn't want to go through all that bending and stuff like that, because like I said, we was toward the end of the project, so I had to kind of be efficient with the materials. If it's good materials that's there, already installed, utilize the materials that's there, that's in good condition where it meets code or whatever. So instead of me running all the way from my power, all the way from my panel for my junction box here that's near my panel, because it's, you keep in mind it's already powered here from this panel right here. Let's say it may be 3. Let's say it ran 2 hots and a neutral. Just a 110 circuit, but in order to split the circuit into like 2 circuits, because they have 1 circuit here for like 3 lights, and then another circuit here for like 2 lights or something like that, to kind of distribute the load evenly as possible. But so instead of me having to run all the way from my panel, my junction box to my switch, I took a wire and I ran to my junction boxes here, or to my light fixture, and then to my junction boxes or whatever. But basically what I did is ran my power here, straight feed to my light. So instead of me running to my switch, I ran to my light fixture, straight to my light fixture here with the power. So that would be this here. So when I ran my power to my light fixture, of course I have to change up the wiring a little bit in order to make this where the power feeds through all of these and then comes back to the switch. So I have to modify my wiring inside my light. Of course, it can't just be, your hot, your neutral, and your ground. You gotta actually feed the power through the light. So I had to feed the power through each light all the way in a loop to my switch. So I had to come here down to my, I don't want to be too loose with my symbolism here and kind of lose anybody. So I had to feed my power all the way down through each one of these lights. Well, like usually I'll tie together like 2 black wires and then send it all the way through, and then come down to this switch here. And then from the switch, I have, let's see, kind of confused myself there. I have to conceptualize a little bit. So for my switch, I have a loop going back. If I use 3 conductors, I have a loop going back to my lights. So yeah. So I'm gonna feed my power all the way through my lights here. Then I have a loop, and I have come back to my lights and back around in basically inside the the switch and these junction boxes here. But yeah, in this situation, like I say, it was more practical for me, in order to be more efficient and save wire cable. It was easy for me to like feed my light instead of feed my switch, and I saved a whole lot more cable. It worked fine, and that's just one of the situations where it might be a little bit better in order to feed the switch. In order to feed the light instead of feeding the switch. But like I say, yeah, to each his own. Some people prefer the other method. This is just my idea, and my opinions, and that's basically it. I just wanted to kind of go over, and the objective was to go over a couple different symbols. Go over a couple different electrical symbols, like your light fixture, your receptacle, which is an outlet where you plug in appliances and things, your light switch, single pole light switch. If it was a 3-way, sometimes you have a 3-way like this. This would be a 3-way switch. This would be a 4-way switch. So lights, receptacle, switches, and also, let's see, a ceiling fan. It's a ceiling fan, kind of look just like a ceiling fan. Of course, my blade is a little messed up. But yeah, these are a couple of the symbols. Light fixture, receptacle, or outlet where you plug appliances and equipment into. your switches, single pole switch, three-way switch, four-way switch, and a ceiling fan. A couple of symbols and a couple of symbols of your wiring. Let's say this would be your home run here. Remember this one with the arrow be your home run or your power from the panel, and these would just be general 12, 2 or 2 conductor wire. This would be a 3 conductor. Let's say it's 12, 3. So these would be just some general symbols that you'll encounter on like a residential or even commercial drawing. You'll see some symbols like these here. So to kind of go over symbols, you got light feed and switch feed. So you can either feed the light fixture here, or you can feed the switch. Either or. Depends on preference, and what I went over today is basically why I prefer this method over this method here, which and just in some situations, like I said, and I also went over the scenario where, in my opinion, it was better to do the oh shoot, I got that wrong. I prefer this method over here. I prefer switch feed over light feed. But I also went over, like I said, over the situation where it was better, or sometimes it's better to run the light, run the power to the light instead of running to the switch. But that's about it. I'm gonna try to get down on the next video, give me some materials, and then actually run power to the light fixture instead of the light switch, and make some videos like I did for the 3-way circuit, which was a switch feed, and the single pole circuit, which was a switch feed. Appreciate y'all for taking time to tune in. Kind of want to get a little bit. I wanted to get a little bit back into making these videos. I got a little inspiration from, what I'm saying, my crew at work. Appreciate them guys. Shout out to Trey, Jan, and all them guys. Gave me a little inspiration today to say make another video, and I'm gonna try to make another video sometime soon where I'm actually working on, once I get the materials, working on this board over here.